10:25 p.m. Just thinking about Ted DiBiase and that particular thought a lot before that, but it kind of is to a portion of where it began, what it was doing, and what it is now. I think Ted's probably dead. Not, he's an old man. He ain't laughing. We could be, he might still be quite successfully wealthy. Depends how well he spent his wealth. Diane's reminding me, which is the total truth. You gotta go in tomorrow morning. Yeah, dude. I know that. Susan Ghostin. Sounds like a bubble out of a boiling thing of a witch. It is. But I don't find that one offensive. She had a bad day. I just grabbed a cup on my end. Understanding. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, to me, totally. Doing this has value. It ain't gonna change my life, but, the hope is that it might help change some others. Been doing it all my life, ever since I could write something down that seemed to have value that I didn't want to lose. Much smaller spaces we keep them in nowadays. Like I said, I don't want to lose the car. I'm going to have to give it up anyhow. Nobody can keep everything I liked in matter. Said that too. No, I really like the way it's done though. It's a very pretty car. It was well detailed before they sold it to us, knowing that it could never pass emissions without. Yeah, it's probably why the first owner kept it 273,000 miles. It was worth that to them. All I see is if I replace the injectors, what's next? That's $1,500, and I can't even get that for the whole car. Beautiful as it is, things need to get recycled. That's actually kind of ugly, but nonetheless, it was there before we started playing with it. Mama Hen, and I religiously agree with her, has issues about the Alberta tar sands, or whatever tar sands up north. In order to extract energy out of these things, you have to turn it into cesspools. Well, what do we use cesspools for? Recycling. Um, on the dark side, I have talked to a friend of Billy Jolly's who says that I actually pointed this back at him and he turned it right back and said, yeah, it's cool. I turned it at him and he's saying, what we're doing is totally fine. It's cool. We're all going to be alright. And I said, okay, so we're turning solids and liquids into vapor. And we gotta breathe. And he was like, we're just doing fantastic. That's pretty much what they're doing to the tar sands. It's just like digging down several thousand feet. It's on the surface. And whatever we're doing is hurrying up the process, turning solids into gases. You still gotta breathe them, and you weren't before as living beings that live on what we currently live on. Is it out? Yep. Back in the pocket. I think, yeah, definitely my comment was we need to, and I'm sure that some of us are understanding things better and doing better with what is potential. But you see, that fucks up somebody else's jigsaw. See, I was planning on making a living on that. And my kids too. And my kids and my kids and my kids and my kids. We're all going to make a living off of this. No. Nature doesn't really work that way. Nature works on the sun and the earth and the space that we are in. Earth does this, sun does until it can't, and that is nature. You can find out how to utilize some things, but yeah, and I think that's a good thing, actually. But you ain't always gonna be the rulers as much as you'd like to be. All things have a time. The Netherlands, Norway, used to be top dog. They're not. Seen a friend complaining. There's a lot of us workers. I work and never get nowhere. The Netherlands, hey, you can deal with our way of life. You're welcome. You ain't gonna have to worry about a place to live. You ain't never gonna get rich because we decided that was costly. Something like that. And the we would be the people. America's run by the rich now. It didn't used to always be, but it is now. I mean, it has happened before. And they had to morph, you know. Nature does that. Darwin says things change incrementally. He's half correct. Well, probably 98.6% correct. There's a little bit of margin of change that happened. That he says so. Nature says so, actually. Who the hell created nature? Daddy did, didn't it? Yeah, I act like I know a lot. I heard somebody tell me that. I don't know nothing. You decide what I know. If you ever get to watch me, or choose to, actually. It's not get to, it's choose to. It's very... You can breathe it anytime you want. You just gotta be in the right area to breathe it. What is it, 10:36? Alright, so local news is off. Espanol is next. There's hundreds of channels, most of which I'm not interested in. But as long as they can get advertisers, they stay alive. Owen ran into that. Owen, Oprah Winfrey Network. Oprah Winfrey Network. Initially, it was just like, put anything on because you're Oprah, and that thing got killed. No, Oprah Winfrey Network should be based on Oprah Winfrey's personal opinions about things, and it's like Ronald Reagan. You should know what I think and find that and do that, and Ronald Reagan did a good job of it. I don't think he would fit now, but he was certainly necessary back then. He changed the world, he really did. But he wouldn't fit now. Now wouldn't be if he wasn't, right? There's a lot of detail to that, and I'm not getting into it. Yeah, that's definitely last beer. Yeah, if I can't do it, I can't do it. It's just the way it is. I know Mama Hen comes to visit. I'm pretty sure the Cross comes to visit. I'm hoping that Miss Yoakum comes to visit. Yeah, it's all about eggs, evidently. No, not quite. The Cross isn't an egg. It's a very unpleasant place to be stuck on. You don't stay there for long. It's certainly no place you want to be. I can tell you the disease is more repugnant than that, but the emotional disaster for a spirit being betrayed by everything. So, I'm not going to get into it, but just for anybody to visit other than Mama Hen. Mama Hen knows what I'm about. I'm sure I've been through it more than once. Sure she has too. Not exactly the Cross, though. Betrayed. Totally. Doing your best, yep. Well, you see, I'm still not done, but neither is she. Nonetheless, in service to Daddy, can give is yourself, you know. I did the best I could. I can say that. I'm pretty sure Mama can. If she can't, she'll have to tell Daddy, right? Hey, Daddy, and I couldn't do my best. I tried, but I just couldn't. I don't think many humans can. Well, you know, I don't know numbers. Daddy does. I was going to take my glasses off, but I never did because I'm used to seeing through them. Now, when I was young, I'd like to think I looked like Jesus. Now I'm old, I like to think I look like a young Santa Claus. Just where I grew up at, you know. Whatever your upbringing, good is always good. Be your best and hope for the best. Because without hope, what is life? You know you're going to die. That was the first sin, to understand you're going to die. After that, what do you choose? Whom will I serve? What will I go through? These things you will find out. Things that pester me. No, I don't even want it. I got a quarter of beer. I'm gonna piss it out anyhow. Gonna cause me pain that I don't need anymore. Ah, man, love always. God never stops.